I found a mysterious note in a library book. What happened next shocked me. In the quiet town of Meadow Grove, Kansas, life moved at a steady, predictable pace. For Emma Thompson, this predictability was both a comfort and a curse. Married to her high school sweetheart Jake, for nearly a decade, their life had settled into a routine that was as familiar as it was uninspiring. Emma worked part-time at the local library, a job she loved for its tranquility and the scent of old books. Jake, on the other hand, was a successful real estate agent, always on the go, always chasing the next big deal. Their lives were worlds apart, but they had always found a way to meet in the middle. One evening, as Emma was sorting through a stack of returned books, she noticed something unusual. A small, folded note had fallen out of a novel. Curiosity piqued. She picked it up and read the neatly written words. "Meet me at the park bench by the lake at 7 p.m. I have something important to tell you. L." Emma's heart skipped a beat. The handwriting was unmistakably Jake's, but the initial L was a mystery. She quickly checked the time. It was already 6:30 p.m. Without a second thought, she grabbed her coat and rushed out of the library, her mind racing with questions. The park by the lake was a short walk from the library. As Emma approached the bench, she saw Jake sitting there, his head bowed, deep in thought. She slowed her pace, taking a moment to observe him from a distance. He looked tired, almost defeated, a stark contrast to the confident man she knew. "Jake," she called softly as she approached. He looked up, surprise and guilt flashing across his face. "Emma, what are you doing here?" She held up the note. "I found this in a book at the library. It's your handwriting." Jake's eyes widened, and he stood up, running a hand through his hair. "Emma, I can explain." "Who is L?" Emma asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. Jake hesitated, then sighed. "Her name is Lily. She's a client. We got close. Too close." Emma felt a wave of nausea. "How close, Jake?" He looked away, unable to meet her gaze. "Close enough that I realized I was making a mistake. I ended it, Emma, I swear." Emma took a deep breath, trying to process the information. "When did this start?" Jake looked down at his feet. "A few months ago. I was lonely, Emma. You were always so busy with the library, and I needed someone to talk to." Emma felt a pang of guilt mixed with anger. "And you thought talking to another woman was the solution?" Jake shook his head. "I know it was wrong. I'm sorry, Emma. I never meant to hurt you." Emma looked out at the lake, the water reflecting the setting sun. She felt a mix of emotions, betrayal, sadness, and a strange sense of relief. Maybe this was the wake-up call they both needed. "Jake, we need to talk," she said finally. "Not here, not now. We need to figure out what this means for us." Jake nodded, his eyes filled with regret. "I know. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this right." Emma took a deep breath, steeling herself for the difficult conversations ahead. "Let's go home, Jake. We have a lot to discuss." As they walked back to their car, Emma couldn't help but feel a sense of determination. Their marriage had hit a rough patch, but she was willing to fight for it. She loved Jake, and she believed that love was worth fighting for. Over the next few weeks, Emma and Jake had many long, difficult conversations. They sought the help of a marriage counselor, who guided them through the process of rebuilding trust and communication. It wasn't easy, but they were both committed to making it work. Emma also made changes in her own life. She started taking more time for herself, pursuing hobbies she had long neglected. She joined a book club and started volunteering at the local animal shelter. These activities not only brought her joy, but also gave her a new perspective on her marriage. Jake, too, made changes. He cut back on his work hours, making sure to spend more time with Emma. He started cooking dinner for them, something he had never done before. It was a small gesture, but it meant the world to Emma. Slowly but surely, their marriage began to heal. They rediscovered the love that had brought them together in the first place. They laughed more, argued less, and found joy in the simple moments of their life together. One evening, as they sat on their porch watching the sunset, Emma turned to Jake. "You know, I never thought we'd get through this, but we did." Jake smiled, taking her hand. "We did, and we're stronger for it." Emma nodded, feeling a sense of peace. Their journey had been difficult, but it had brought them closer than ever before. She looked out at the setting sun, knowing that their future was bright. In the end, their love story was not about perfection, but about resilience. It was about choosing to fight for each other, even when it was hard. And in that choice, they found a love that was deeper and more meaningful than they had ever imagined.